Welcome back to GP Rewind, where today we'll be looking at the HGUC F91. After reviewing the Rising Freedom, it really got me wanting to go back and give this kit another look. Personally, one of my favorite kits from back in the day, I still think it's one of the most underrated high grades out there, but it definitely isn't without its problems. Despite it being about 11 years since we've built it, this kit is still pretty solid. Some of the armor parts have yellowed due to age, but the joints hold their poses really well, although the hands do pop out of their sockets a bit too easily nowadays. Getting the biggest issues with it out of the way, the first, which isn't even really an issue, is the size. Surprisingly, this kit is actually bigger than it should be, sized about the same as the HG wing kits, but in reality was supposed to be even smaller. Another issue is the beam sabers. Even fresh out of the box, it doesn't particularly hold them well due to how wide these hands are, but we'd be lying if we didn't say how nice the beam effects are on this kit, especially for its time. There's also the lack of color separation on a lot of the pieces, namely a lot of the thrusters and Vulcans. It's odd that there are a lot of these yellow and black warning stickers that could have also worked well for some of the thrusters. Just a couple more stickers could have covered a lot of these details. There's also a couple of huge overlapping ones for the VSBRs. These ones are surprisingly holding up well for wraparound stickers though. Speaking of the VSBRs, the deployment gimmick for these is still pretty incredible by modern HG standards. The swing mechanism is clean and unobstructed, the rifles slide out easily, their handles flip out from under, and none of this is loose at all. I was also certain that the triple Verners on the back of the calves would be loose due to the plastic they're made of, but nope, this holds up well too. There's also an interesting molding gimmick on the beam rifle. If you take a look at the foregrip, you can actually clip these three pieces, and voila, a rotating grip without having to deal with another piece on the runner. The interchangeable faceplates being tied to two different inner head frames is pretty intuitive as well. The helmet portion stays on decently well, and being able to swap between a normal face and heat-venting Obari style face is simple, and can also make for some pretty funny shots. It's also curious to note that this was a time when a straight recolor like the F91 Harrison Custom, something barely anyone knew of aside from crossbone readers, was a regular release soon after this and not a P Bandai. This kit is incredible and so ahead of its time, and although tiny, it offers so much more than you could hope to get from something like the entry grade line, at about the same price point. If you've just started out and need something the tiniest step up from an entry grade that you can also practice using markers on, I cannot recommend this kit enough. Thanks for watching! Big O pose rating. The tiny F out of 91. Pretty good face, not enough arm.